Episode 4029, The Power of Laughter.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. Can I just tell you, the weather is absolutely gorgeous. I just want to be outside. Spring has sprung, and it is time to plant the flowers, and it's time to have an incredible marriage, the power of laughter. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. They keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, today is about connection. It's about who you're sleeping with in your bed. And do you really have that love? Do you really share something together deeper than a piece of paper, deeper than even your vows? Because if you think about it, vows are just words unless if you connect your heart to it. Ouch. That's for another episode. In fact, sometimes I got to listen to some of these because I write like 20 episodes when we just have these episodes one at a time. But then it's like, wait, we got to go backwards and talk about some of these other things. But here we go. Are you someone who walks away feeling better after yelling at your spouse rather than laughing with them? Let that sink in. Think about that question. Now, maybe early in marriage, you were like, oh no, I was the one that's like, I had to be right. I wanted to tell him like it was, tell him how to go sit, how to do it, and yep, I'm right. Where are you now? Are you still there? Or have you migrated to something different? Because honestly, I think a lot of times we just hang out on the yelling bench. And if you do, you're not alone. The stress, the misunderstandings, and the pressures of life sometimes drive us to lose perspective and forget the power of laughter, especially in marriage. Laughter isn't just this feel-good luxury, even though we kind of treat it as such. Laughter is this strategic tool that can ease tension. It truly can boost your connection. That means your intimacy time, it's even better. And it can make daily life way more enjoyable. Isn't that something that you really want? I mean, because let's be real, yelling might feel like an immediate release. Yes. Right? You just get it off your chest. It's done. It's out there in the world. But here's the thing. It often leaves behind frustration, wounds. And these wounds can grow, by the way. They're not just like surface level. They go, and then if you attack it again, and those wounds open back up again, and pretty soon you have this gaping hole, in your heart. And then what does it do? Builds distance. On the other hand, though, you've got laughter, and laughter can reset the mood. It can disarm conflict and remind both of you why you're in the relationship to begin with. So I want you to think about how you handle disagreements and arguments in your marriage. Are you one who is quick to point fingers, or are you a willing participant to laugh at yourself more? I started thinking about this. You know me, it's called Real Life Stories here. We have a chat with Christiane. And I don't know what I was doing, honestly. I have no idea. I was doing something. A couple of our kids were around. I think my son's girlfriend was there, and the grandbabies were not there. But we were just kind of giggling, whatever, just doing whatever. And I said something, and my husband just turned and starts cracking up laughing. And my son and his sweet girlfriend was like, why are you so tickled by that? Why are you laughing? Oh, your mama just makes me laugh so much. She is hilarious. And I'm thinking, I really need to be on a comedy tour here, which really I don't. But there are things that, you do things that are kind of quirky and you laugh at each other. And he has found a lot of laughter in my quirks. Praise the Lord. That's why we're still married. And guess what? I've done the same with him. Because let me tell you, some of his quirks, they just get under my skin, if I can be so honest. They do. But when I look at it, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you have to do it like that. And I'm thinking, if I could just remove that little part of you within your brain or within your habits or within whatever it falls into, it'd make it so much easier for me. But then it wouldn't get under my skin, and then I wouldn't have quirks to laugh at, right? But you see, when we get flustered, when we have all the pressures of life, when we are dealing with the dinner dishes and dogs, the bills, the bosses, all of it, and the bosses may not be your real boss. It could be your spouse. Did I say that out loud? I did. Could be your kids. It could even be your fur-legged creatures. Could be your in-laws. Whatever it is, you probably have multiple bosses. And you're like, oh, yes, I do. You're writing the story for me right now. I get it. And so we've got to look at ourselves and say, you know what? Life is too short to be so serious all the time. There was something that came up in my feed. And it's the craziest thing. I'm not on social media a lot, but I thought I would share this because crazy things have happened to me. Friends, and I do not remember the actress's name, but she plays Phoebe, I believe. And she wrote on there, she goes, comedy just really isn't the same anymore. People can't take a joke. People are just like too, not even honest, but they're like, they can't take it. There's no good comedy anymore because everybody is like, oh, you're talking bad about me. And they take everything so personal. And it becomes this whole thing of like, well, I can't do this. And then it's worse in marriage. Why? Because you cannot escape each other. You're stuck in the same four walls. Not all the time, maybe not every day, but if you work at home, both of you, you're together. When you go on vacation, you're like, I wish we would not go on vacation. How many times have you felt that? Like going on vacation is more stressful. Why? Because you actually have to spend time with your spouse. If you're thinking immediately a yes, you probably aren't laughing enough. The power of laughter, there's something in that. So let me ask you this again. How do you handle those disagreements and arguments in your marriage? Are you one who is quick to point those fingers and say, you did it. It's all your fault, even though you got like 3 or 4 pointing back at yourself? Or are you willing to laugh at yourself and say, this is just totally crazy. Let's try it this way. If you want a marriage that grows deeper and wider and you want to do it together, you must laugh together more. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Laugh together more. I know when I first started the podcast and it was all about happy day, ladies. And if you go back to some of my original episodes, you'll hear me say that. And so my husband was the sweetest man ever, and he listened to my episodes every single day. I can tell you now, he's probably missed over a few thousand by now because he can't keep up. And that's okay. I was only doing them when we first started out. I was only doing them 3 days a week. Then we went to 5 days, and then we went to every day, to daily. And that's where we stayed, and that's why we have over 4,000 episodes. And thank you so much for sharing them, subscribing, and doing all of this. It's because of you that we are where we are. This is not because of me. Do I love to talk? Yes, but I don't have to hear myself talk to enjoy life. Seriously, I don't. But I know that through my experiences, and I've had a lot of them, good, bad, and ugly, there's a lot here to learn in life. And if I can give you a little bit of my tools and strategies and what has helped me raise a very large family, and now all of my kids are officially can do anything as adults, that means even vote, they can go drink, they can go to the casino. Like, they are all of age now, which is kind of crazy to think about that. It makes me feel really old, but that's for another episode. See, we got 2 episodes out of this one already. See where laughter is? You get it? You got to be willing. And if you're not, what happens is you're taking yourself way too seriously. And so my husband, when we first started doing the podcast, and I almost said together, because it was together, he actually picked the original music with Mandisa, Overcomer. He heard that song and he's like, that's yours. You need to see, can you get the license rights to that? I was able to. Unfortunately, she has passed away since. And I still honor her with keeping the music that we did at the very beginning, but I have since changed it up. And part of that is that it just, when you have music and it's done by somebody else, it gets very expensive, if I can be quite frank with you. And so funds are important, and I want to spend wisely. Anyway, he would hear me say late at night sometimes as he's going to bed early, "Happy day, ladies." And I would just start going into my spiel. And if you've been around for a while and you've heard some of my beginning episodes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So to this day, when I tell him, "Oh, well, you guys go ahead and go on. I'm going to finish this episode and then I'll come and catch up with you," or whatever it is. And he just will comment every once in a while, "Happy day, ladies." And he just does this. And I'm like, seriously? Some people would say, "Well, Christiane, that's not really that funny." It isn't, but when you're doing what I do as many times as I do it, which is every single day, and I don't batch them, I don't sit here and plan very many of them out. I do it the day before. Why? Because I want it fresh. I want real relational content for you. Stuff that's happening right now. Why? So you don't get bored? So maybe you laugh a little bit with me? Did you watch the smashdown of Artemis 2? Okay, I was driving on my way home. Do not tell any popo, I'm just saying this. But I had it on my phone, and I was streaming it in my car. And no, I didn't have it in my hand, so it was safely removed. But I would sit there and I would drive, and I'd look every once in a while. And by golly, I was crying. When we had that 6 minutes of blackout time where there was no communication, I was just praying, "Lord, bring them home. Let the smashdown happen." And I find it so interesting. If you're in Central Standard Time, it was 7:07 when they smashed down. Can't tell me those sevens weren't by accident. Planned that way, in my opinion. But we'll leave that one too for another episode. But you see, you gotta have some longevity to your relationship. And longevity comes with laughter. Laughter is good medicine. And a lot of times we just forget about it because we're like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Because it allows you what? To be human. Number one. It reminds you that, yeah, you're not perfect either. Not saying to your spouse, yeah, you're not perfect either. It's saying to yourself. And that's very humbling. And when you could be a humbled spouse, let me tell you, your heart serves much better. So if you want your marriage that grows deeper and wider together, you got to laugh together more. What does that look like in real life? Number one, choose playfulness over perfection. You're like, I'm on. Let's do this. I get it. But I don't want you to go to that part. Not to the bedroom quite yet. You see, many arguments stem from unmet expectations or feeling like your partner should do things a certain way. Guilty as charged. We all do it. I don't care if it's a big thing or a little thing, we all do it. So when you catch yourself about to criticize or raise your voice or to be fussy at them, seriously, think about this. Hit pause. Like physically, if you have to, tap yourself. I'm pausing, I'm not going to say anything. And aim to inject lightheartedness instead. Find something funny. Crack a silly joke. Poke fun at your own quirks. Your own quirks, not your spouse's. Listen up. And even exaggerate the situation absurdly. Like seriously. We were working outside, doing the mulch. Was that almost 2 weekends ago? No, that was last weekend. See, I've already lost track. I cannot keep track. Someone who does 150 bags of mulch is totally ridiculous. And it was absurd. But we're sitting there and I'm like, well, wouldn't you like to be a little squirrel that comes and then you take this, wow, I get to make a brand new nest. We're cracking jokes as it's pouring down rain. It's colored mulch. So we're not looking great because it's red mulch. So you can just imagine it's Easter weekend. I'll let your mind go there with that. And it was like, funny, but not funny, but yet funny. It got us through some of the craziness of lifting the bags that were becoming so heavy. They felt like 100 pounds per bag. They weren't, but they were still daggum heavy. What is it for you? Choose playfulness over perfection. Because when you do, it breaks a cycle of pressure and it reminds both of you that neither of you are perfect. And that's okay. It's A-okay. It's a double thumbs up. It's like, yeah, it's a high five. It's like, I can laugh at myself. If you can't, in all honesty, you got bigger problems. Seriously. Maybe we need to take a page out of Phoebe's little reel, or not reel, or whatever she posted, wherever I read this, wherever it showed up on my thing, that, we're not going to have comedy like we did back in the day because people can't take jokes. They can't laugh at themselves. Everybody's all too serious for the wrong reasons. Comedy's good. There's a reason why we laugh. There's a reason why we celebrate. There's a reason why we need to bring this lightheartedness into our life, because life is not easy, but it still can be beautiful. Laughter is part of the heart. Are you including it in your everyday? Number 2, create shared moments of fun. Laughter is not a byproduct of marriage. It's not. It's a muscle you have to intentionally exercise. You got to be willing to do it over and over again. And I really do think my husband's like, well, instead of being mad at her, I'm just going to laugh at her more. At times it's at her, and other times it's with her, meaning me. And we're laughing together, and sometimes we get so tickled it's ridiculous. I end up getting the hiccups. I sometimes swallow. We were doing something. I don't even remember what it was. Well, I think we were actually out to dinner. And I got tickled about something. I don't know. And I had taken a drink of water. Okay. Now understand, I do not drink but water. Okay. My soda of choice is root beer. I know that sounds weird, but I don't drink any alcohol. Not because I have anything against it. I just don't like the stuff. I don't care how it smells. I don't like the taste. I don't like champagne. It's just me. Don't send me the hate mails. I just don't like it. So I just have fun because it's just me. I don't need a drink. I don't need a cigarette. I don't need any of that. It's me enjoying life. And so for whatever reason, I took a great big gulp of water, and my son said something. My hubby was sitting next to me. And the next thing you know, I'm about ready to lose it, which in about 10 seconds later, I did. And the water went all over my plate. Thank the Lord, I'd already finished eating. But it was just hysterical. And we were just laughing. And then my husband started laughing, and they're like, oh my goodness. And Mom, you're going to embarrass us. But then we were all laughing. It didn't matter who embarrassed who, because we were all laughing. We were all a part of it. I can't even remember what we were talking about, but it was hysterical. Create shared moments of fun. You got to look for those. That doesn't mean you're sitting there studying everything. But if you look for something fun, and something you can laugh about and be like, oh my goodness, I remember when. Can you remember when we did this? Or whatever it is. You tell a story and you're like, yeah, and you start laughing. It changes the position of your heart, the posture of your spirit, what you're looking at. Prioritize moments in your routine where you do something purely for fun with your spouse. Maybe it's watching a goofy movie, playing a silly game, or recounting ridiculous memories. There's this movie. My husband and I were dating. I don't even remember the name of the movie. Seriously, my husband probably could tell you. I cannot tell you. And maybe if I tell you the story, you'll be like, I know that movie. I'm not a movie buff. I enjoy a movie. I watch it and then I forget about it. So 2 or 3 days later, I can watch the same movie and I see it differently. It's fun. It's great because my husband can say, will you watch all these with me? And if I'm in the mood, I'll do it with him. I don't do it all the time. But anyway, we went, I think, to a matinee because we had to go to a cheap thing. We weren't making a lot of money back then. We were in college and basically both broke and trying to save up and all of this stuff and big dreams with little money, right? And that's what you just do. You figure out how to make it work. So we went to this movie, and there was this part in the movie. I have no idea what it was. The guy was driving his truck, I believe. The woman gets into the car, and she's just talking, carrying on. I kind of identified with her as a talking, carrying on type of thing. And it was hysterical because the guy said, duck, duck. And what she did as she was talking, she ducked, like physically got down lower in the vehicle. It's like, no, duck. There was a duck crossing the road in front of them. He came to a screeching halt. I have no idea why that tickled me so much. To this day, my husband says duck, and we know exactly what it means. Of course, we had to explain the story to my children. I don't even know if they know the movie yet or remember it or whatever. And they're definitely all more movie fanatics. They take that from their father, not from their mother, which is fine. It's great. And when I come up with a good movie line, they're like, oh, Mom. And that becomes another laughable moment for us. Even my husband, he's like, you remembered that. He goes, oh my goodness, because I just don't. It's not something that sticks in my mind. It doesn't matter. But at that moment with the duck thing in the scene, it's there. And still to this day, he's like, duck, duck. And we know exactly what's going on. Maybe you need to play a little bit more in your life. Be a little more silly. Because these pockets of joy build a shared reservoir of good feelings that diffuses future tension. Because you're like, okay, it's not so bad after all. If you're crying more than you're laughing in your marriage, you may want to think twice about what's happening in your marriage, seriously. Because you need to be laughing. Laughter is good medicine. And finally, number 3, practice empathy wrapped in humor. So when conflict does arise, because it's going to, right? It's going to happen. You cannot avoid conflict. You have 2 people in a relationship with lots of different moving parts in life. You're going to have conflict, okay? My husband and I have it all the time. We just deal with it a lot differently than most couples do. Sometimes we laugh at each other. Sometimes we get a little bit heated. But the thing is, we always come from the posture of love. Always. Now, did that happen always at the beginning when we first got married? Are you kidding me? It was, I'm right. Oh, wait, no, I'm right. And then it was, okay, wait, how do we figure this out? Because we both can't be right. There's got to be compromise. And I was a great compromiser, but my husband would say, no, you're not. You're very stubborn. I would say, no, I'm very determined. You see where this gets us, right? Well, now we've worked on it, but it's been intentional. And so you've got to have that empathy wrapped in humor. So when conflict does arise, strive to understand your spouse's feelings, but express your empathy with just a little sprinkle of humor. Saying something like, I get it, you're hangry and a little terrifying right now. You're like the gremlin coming out. You want all the food. Now you understand that if you've ever watched the movie with the gremlins. Was it called Gremlins? See what I mean? I'm not a movie buff, but anyway, you get my point. And when you do that, it acknowledges the tension while lightening the mood. It's just like, oh. And you don't have to cut, the tension and all of that, the conflict with a knife. It's now more, we can both breathe. It's great, right? And this approach lowers your defenses, making real communication possible without escalating into yelling matches. You don't need to wrestle and yell at each other every single day. Seriously, laugh more so you can love more. Marriage isn't about never having arguments. It's about how you handle them. Yelling might feel loud, but laughter wins every time because it invites connection and peace instead of division. Stop dividing yourselves. You can only divide yourself too many times before you say, that's enough. I'm done. I don't want you to get to that point. I want you to grow deeper and wider when it comes to your marriage and the love. I want your love to multiply. I want your laughter to multiply. Because if you want to enjoy life with your spouse more, not just to tolerate it, you got to learn to laugh together more than you yell. And let me tell you, it is so worth it. It really is. There is nothing better than a belly laugh. So I want to encourage you this weekend specifically, really look for that time of saying, how can we just be daggum silly? Like, let's be funny. Whatever it is, just be silly together. Because you know what? When you're silly together, you're better together. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.